Karis.
Hi. Welcome. We are live. Say hi to everyone watching.
Hi.
We have a tepid crowd. Let's try that again. Let's say hi to everyone watching. All right. Now we have a maniacal, aggressive, lovely crowd. Hi. Thank you for coming. This is the WoT If panel. This panel is a mental exercise in just taking elements of the Wheel of Time, full spoilers wise, and saying, what if something else happened instead of that? Let's say a Portal Stone world. This is the Portal Stone world. We're just saying, what if this happened? We have a fun crowd. A beautiful, well-dressed crowd. And we also
amazing
have
costumes.
A great panel with us. Let's introduce ourselves here. We have Seth from WoT Spoilers. Say hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm in a What If Matt Became a Gleeman costume.
Which I think is fabulous.
Thank you. Yeah,
All right,
the cloak was made for me.
And
by
that
a friend.
may, all right, so pin on that because that'll be our first What If. We also have Jessica Sadai.
Hi, everybody. Jessica Sadai, Jessica Squeedeye, depending on where you
Squeed.
might meet up with me.
If you ever feel really happy and enthusiastic, it's because the Squee Angel has touched you with her invisible wand. I am Brother Dan from The Way of the Leaf. It's a puppet show. And and we have Gabe, who is our production Sadai and overall handsome man up here.
Hello, everyone. You might
Sorry,
find
what?
me online as Rower.
Rawr.
Gabe for us.
All right, so this is What If. This is what we're so what if right off the bat, what if Matt decided to become a Gleeman? All right, we're gonna ponder on that just a second, and I'll walk around. And what? Oh, we have even a mic back there.
Yes,
right
we
on.
do.
Yep.
So, let's do it.
Let's get the mic to you.
Yeah, right off the bat. And say your name when you're talking, if you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Trian.
Thank
Matt is my favorite. And if Matt became a Gleeman, he would be very happy. And that is my comment.
That's very good.
I don't think main characters get to be happy. That's like
I was gonna say I do not think Matt would enjoy being happy because Matt seems to get the most enjoyment out of being grumpy about whatever is being done to him. But I also had a quick clarity question. We're avoiding things like, well, if Matt became a Gleeman, then we would have lost the last battle. We're avoiding like the direct statements like that, right?
Well, yeah, we're not rewriting things. We're just what ifing, I guess.
Cool.
I mean,
Let it flow.
so take it as far as you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we can go as deep. Put on your life vest. We're in deep waters.
Nice. Got another question over there?
I would say I think Matt would kill it as a Gleeman. He would love it. He likes traveling around. He dices. He's charming. If he could play good songs.
That's my question. Does he have the range of skills to be a true Gleeman, or is he just an entertainer?
Well, we take it from the books, right? And instead of learning battles, he learns the history of music, right? Maybe he's got Elvis in his head.
Oh, so he's pulling. That's right. He's pulling back all the old songs, the battle songs, and everything else like that, and all the skills.
So
Right.
his Taveran skills would relate to being an inspirational figure, or would he lose his Taveran status altogether because he's not leading forces, he's not contributing to the last battles in the ways that he does in the current turning.
Kurt Cobain was Taveran.
Right. I'm not saying you have to be a battle lord to be Taveran. I'm just saying, do we think that his Taveran skills would lead him to be an inspirational figure, or that he just would not be Taveran, he would be a Gleeman?
So my question is, does Matt have the musical skills to be a Gleeman?
Yeah.
Well, we do hear that he hears a song that he remembers writing a long time ago. It would. Well, he.
They're
well,
his
that's a good
memories
question,
now.
I
If
guess.
we
I
take the time that Land spent with the boys training them in weapons, compare that to the time Matt spent with Tom, he could have learned the entire Gleeman performance routine.
Well, the flute's not the only instrument. Yeah, I hear there are a few more.
Yeah, I mean, hi, I'm Randy. I believe he would just take the entertainment thing, and he's taking over Val and Luca's show, and he's putting on, the next PT Barnum of Randland.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe the pen is mightier than the sword, and he writes some songs that change the outcome of the last battle, right?
Hi, Random Noman. I kind of picture this a little different way. I kind of picture an old, gray, almost a Tom Maryland age Matt, and he's telling his stories of all of his adventures.
Oh, sort of almost a J.M. Farstrider.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
this is all the stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
We know that Gleeman is kind of. I mean, Rand. All the Two Rivers cats think Gleeman is the craziest, but we see some dirty ass Gleeman. I mean, it's not a bard, right? Rand would fit right, or I'm sorry, Matt would fit right in as a Gleeman. He can juggle decently.
He's got all that
He knows a
charisma.
few songs and memories. He gets these. He's wrote some of these songs.
Yeah.
He's like the
Right.
Asmodean of Old Tongue.
I was going to say also.
Asmodean of the light.
Asmodean of the Light. That's it.
It's a lovely thought.
I was going to add, as he embraces his bisexuality, he might find he's better at the flute.
Oh, let's go. All right, I'll give you a high five for that. Yeah, free a hand. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so
You got to
let's-
practice.
What else? What if? Anyone have any deep-seated questions? I mean, we have some. All right, let's go to you guys first.
Hi, I'm Hillary, aka Ocean Ogier.
Hi.
Hi, Ocean
hi.
Ogier.
What if the sea folk had battle whales and a whale army?
What if the sea folk had battle
Whales.
Shamu Chan.
Sort of like the sea folk have the Grom and the all the various fighting animals, that the sea folk have cultivated battle whales, so that
like some Aquaman?
well, I mean, we know the killer whales have been taking out billionaire ships, right? So basically that, right?
I guess we should close this. I don't like it open. I don't like it closed, but they're loud. I'll leave one open.
Okay.
Will there be Whale Brothers? Is that the
Yes!
Whale Sisters?
Nice.
Whale siblings.
Wow.
Riding whales.
Look
to
at how
battle.
happy she is. It
Orca-
has to happen now.
Orcas are the whales or the wolves of the sea, right?
Right.
Huh.
What
I
if,
like that. Well, brother.
what if the sea folk then used them to destroy the Shanshan shortly after they, started their conquest of the Westlands?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat? I'm
Oh. What if the sea folk then use them to destroy the ships of the Shanshan
Right.
shortly after? Because weren't the sea folk like the very first people they went
Encountered.
to conquer with the
Yeah.
return?
Guys, we're seeing this now in Spain where the orcas are taking out yachts. This is weird behavior. Yeah. I mean, what's
Let's make sure we use the mic though for our attendees online.
So historically speaking, we also have examples like the Essex, which was battered and sunk by a sperm whale. So you basically have submarine battering rams.
well?
I think actually Koala Sudai could talk about emus and a war back in the day. If somebody heard about that one.
Oh, yeah.
So, but this is not Wheel of Time. Let's go back to
And
To
just
that?
give it back to Karis for me. Thank you so much, Triumph.
Perhaps
So there was the mention of like whale brothers. As far as I can remember, there were no female wolf brothers. What if that's the female counterpart of the wolf brothers, the whale sisters?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Balancing
I
the wheel of
really-
time.
I really believe that it exists somewhere in notes that RJ said in an interview at one point that wolf sisters were a possibility.
Mhm.
I think that lives on Theoryland somewhere.
I read it.
It was definitely archived somewhere. So yeah, siblings of all sorts are available. So why not whale siblings?
Cool.
So who would talk to whales? In
Right.
the books.
Meaning she wants to right now.
I like that.
I mean, I like that thought process though. So the sea folk, yes, but others who make their craft on the sea, like Bale Doman. I was going to use the word pirate. That feels a little judgy. But
Mhm.
there are others who ply their trades on the waters. that
Legal
might
or
pick up-
not.
Right. I think that's neat. But
See, now I'm picturing Bale Domon on the back of a killer shark or killer whale.
yes.
Just absolutely.
But
I do
he's-
be taking down
but
the
he's
sea
like-
folk.
He's like Big Lebowskiing it.
Do be
you know?
Shamu.
Laelwyn shipless does not need a ship because she is riding a whale
Nice. Right next to Bale Domon, right? Yeah, side by side. I love
alongside
it.
Bale Doman's boat.
Full circle. We
Right.
got your answer. This
Yay!
was a true answer. And by the way, these guys are going crazy. So in 3, 2, 1, we're gonna just cheer real loud. We're gonna make them think. All right, ready?
Right.
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Woo! Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
best panel.
Take that.
Take that. Curiosity killed. All right. All right. So we have some more what ifs. What if we met Nakomi halfway through the series? What if we met her in Crown of Swords?
I think that depends on what you think she represents, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We have an answer on that, whether you buy it or not. But she would be like, what, hanging out in Tel Riyadh during that period of time?
I mean, it sounds like she bounces back and forth, right?
Right,
Between that and the waist.
And I think that's, maybe she's also hanging out in the Redstone columns watching, right? All those
Yes.
eyes that are watching. Some of that's Nakomi.
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. That was
All right.
already
Dumb
my
question.
headcanon.
I'll retract
So
it.
this-
Strike it from the record.
This Looney theory was before Origins came out, but I still ascribe to my friend Daniel's Looney theory, Narg Comey, that the wheel generates a level up character who appears when your characters need to level up, like a first level boss, Narg, or when Avienda needs to level up not only herself, but all of the Aiel, you pop out with Narg Comey and or whoever else she manifests as.
So the pattern is video gamified
Yes.
being Taviran.
All right, so let me give
Yes.
a what if. Let me give a what if. Let's suppose that being attuned to the dark isn't an innate feature of Trollocs. All right, stay with me here.
Good what if.
So if Narg had not been killed, would he have adapted to become part of the light, or at least not bad?
Great.
Thoughts? All right.
Always.
Stop it. I've always thought Narg would be the first union leader. Like he would have gotten like fair practices for the Trollocs, like good break times and pay.
So
A human in every cook pot.
Oh.
So he was Hoffa. He was Narg Hoffa.
Yeah. That's why he
Guys, back
vanished.
before you were born, there was a union.
And nobody knows where his body is.
I like this idea. You've got Ogier gardeners that are,
Yes.
evil Ogier almost.
Mhm.
Somewhere, Land of Madmen, I don't know. Shara, there must be happy, fluffy Trollocs, right? That are
Well,
Happy,
maybe
fluffy
not happy,
Trollocs.
fluffy per se, but we have one that defied his orders.
Mm-hmm.
He said Narg knew, Narg smart, Narg knew to stay, even though we assume his orders were to go elsewhere. Everyone else fucking.
so is
Right.
he like evolving. This is
Well, could he have been convinced? I guess. what if?
Sort of a
What if
Rand's
there was
pet
a
Trolloc.
really charismatic person? All right,
What,
all right.
what,
here,
what
here,
if what
here.
if the what would happen with the Murdrals who are leading them? Like, would that make them go like, oh my god, maybe I should change. Maybe I'm the problem.
Oh, she said what I was supposed to say. Keep going.
Well, I was just thinking because I was like, the whole point is that they're being led by the Murdrals or whatever. So it's like he's like, hey man, like it's like when you go to your boss and you're like, I know you're not an asshole, but it's like you got to think about the people. And then he's like, oh my god, it
So
totally.
does that mean that Narg would be Kelsier, and he would inspire them all to rise up?
Cross series.
Because bosses always go, "Oh yes, I was the asshole. I'll treat you better."
Right.
Well, yeah, he'd probably be like, "You want a pizza party, guys? It's fine. Let's smooth this out."
Okay, this is I thought about the murder thing. That the Norg had a murder leader that was between a normal murder and Jaidar Haran.
Mm.
So that is a Narcomi of murderals.
Narcomi.
Federdal. That's a wrong word. But that could happen to two of the shadow spawn at the same time because Taveran in the area and stuff. So, well, that's the idea.
I'm really curious what they would be made out of. So, you got like a bird and a pig, and they're all kind of evil and scary, right? But are the like evolved, nicer Trollocs? Is it teddy bear?
Are they
gumdrops?
Are they second generation? Are they many generations removed?
I'm a koala Trolloc, and you're
Oh,
like,
God.
you're so cute, little drop bear, panda,
Kitten Trolloc.
Dadong.
It turns out
I
the
like
human
this
part.
By
is
the
the
way,
best part.
so you have bird Trollocs. Are they hatched or are they birthed?
Oh gosh.
So I like this idea of second generation Trollocs because the first generation Trollocs were, created by dreadlords and they're
Mhm.
genetically programmed.
Mhm.
But once you put a little bit of, natural forces into that, they could evolve in other directions. So
Right.
the younger generations may be different than the
Right.
original
So maybe
Trollocs.
subsequent generations wouldn't be subject to Madral.
Oh, yeah. So what do we know?
How many generations does it take to get a fluffy kitten Trolloc? Like, that's all I want to know.
Selective breeding. It's very important.
Well,
yeah.
that's what I was going to bring up. I was like, I feel like this is getting dangerous. This sounds like, designer baby, making, right? Because then
Designer
they're like,
Trolloc.
yeah, they're like, man, just like a gator.
We definitely have opinions in the back.
Randy?
I'm just thinking if, we got a cyclical wheel here, what if the evolution of Trollocs is to the Ogier?
Is the Ogier. So I honestly thought that until it was explained that they were, created by Agenor. Right, but going back, Fitz. Right, you're talking about the origin for orcs, and maybe they were tortured into that form. Yeah.
Or here's another thing: the Ogier open the Book of Translation, leave Ranland, so you have a void that needs to be replaced. Therefore, the Trollocs evolve to fill that void every turning of the wheel. And the Trollocs can't, they just keep going to where
I can
the Book
even
of
tie it back
Translation
to the
takes them.
book, and then when Loyal goes to Tar-Valon and people mistake him for Trolloc, that's why.
Right. Everyone's freaked out when they see him. That's a really good point, Randy. You know what? I don't care what these people say. I think you're okay. Guys, 5. We're going to cheer again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Take that! All right.
Couple
We got to just keep them on their toes.
Yeah, definitely.
couple of quick comments from the chat. They like the idea of a sloth Trolloc and maybe not quite a soft kitty, but a tiger.
Oh, rawr.
A tiger Trolloc. Just all cool and striped. Well, and he says, they're great. All right, I'll do it again. Oh, I'm just kidding. Tony the Tiger Trolloc.
No,
Anyways. their great lord. Is that better?
I've got an idea for another what if. If we
Yeah.
jump to another one. What if Kari and Tam were able to have a second kid finally after they found Rand? What would he be like as an older brother?
The Rand's stepbrother.
Yeah.
Right. Jerry Christ. If
I think they would treat him like Ewan Fingar and try to punch this kid every time he voiced any sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ewan Fingar, everything he said was spot on, was logical, and was beyond his years. And Matt every time was like, "Fuck off, kid," and try to punch him. I think that they would probably treat Rand's brother kind of like the same way.
The one of the reasons I say it is I mean, Rand is obviously a savior character, and one of the apostles was Jesus's little brother. So it's would there be a similarity there?
I'm personally pretty worried about Tam's setup. So Rand, obviously the sheep herding prodigy that he was, has been plucked away by Moraine, and now we have second best, who has not done any sheep herding.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I mean, one business that might collapse the Emmonsfield economy right there.
Yeah.
He's definitely tired of hearing, "Why can't you be more like your older brother?" Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that Rand's brother's name would be Steve.
Oh, mic
Who
drop.
is Steve?
And we actually do have some scholarship on what happens to what if Jesus had a little brother, and that he, becomes the leader of his movement. And then a few hundred years later, someone decides they wanted his mom to be a virgin forever, and we pretend he doesn't exist.
Or I'll go one better. What if a splinter group tries to recruit Rand's little brother to overthrow him because they don't like what he's doing? If the other tower tried to recruit Rand's little brother and put him as the Dragon Reborn instead.
Right, because we learn it is more or less genetic now. That well, let me ask you on the same thread. Think about this. What if Tam remarried?
That's a fun one.
To who?
To you, yeah. No, whatever. So my belief is that Tam consciously did not remarry so that because he wanted to isolate his son that he knew had fulfilled prophecies. Hey, I think Tam knew. Hashtag Tam knew. So what if Tam remarried? Why? My theory. All right. So Tam went on. So let's look at New Spring, right? Not New Spring. The Ravens prologue, where Bran Alvear says, "Hey Tam, tell the kids about the Dragon Reborn. You tell them better than me." And Tam spins the tale. He knows everything, right? How would he know this? He's just some stupid farmer. No, he went to Ilion. He went and he was on the slopes of Dragonborn.
He was a king's bodyguard. He was in all the meetings.
He fucking knew. So it is our belief that once Carrie Althor died, although all the Two Rivers was hitting on him, Tam Althor left Beltane bruised from all the women hitting on him so hard, right? But he didn't take a wife. Why? He stayed on his farm. He didn't go he was part of the council, but he didn't stay in the village. He stayed on the outskirts. We think that it's because he knew that his son was the Dragon Reborn, and when he retold the tale to the kids, he spun it like a gleeman. Mm-hmm. He knew.
He implied that Carrie Althor was the mother to cover up the fact that it was someone who had died. The second he heard the words "born on the slopes of Dragonmount," he knew, and everything after that point is him. Oh, I'm 100% on your side on this one. This is
you all just blew up my world.
Tam knew. But that's not a what if. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
So
that's
what if Tam remarried?
So
I don't know. I guess it's a dumb question.
No, is it still in Emmonsfield? Like they would probably have to go out of town
Do you think he went all the way to
Terran
Terran Ferry?
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Well,
whoa!
those
Back
folks
up, back
are a
up.
little
Who goes
racy.
all the way there? Right?
Tam
Those
Thor.
Terran Ferry
Yeah.
folk are really weird.
They get wiped out. Like that's what
It is
the
a genocide.
entire town of Terran Ferry dies and then gets repopulated.
So, what if you were Tam and you knew
Right.
you were raising the Dragon Reborn? What would your parenting techniques be?
The flame in the void.
And the flame in the void again is
Bury
it
your
confirms
emotions
this
because you
Tam
got
knew.
stuff to do.
No one else did that.
You're going to need to function under
No one else did that.
intense
Seth,
pressure.
thank you
So
for agreeing with
that goes with a second theory that I've heard about Tam, which is definitely a what if. What if Tam was a dark friend and he knew?
So wait, which way is that question? Is it that he's a dark friend and he's got dark friend agenda, or knowing has made him less dark friendery?
I like this. He knew he's a dark friend, and he was there, set out to find the baby at that time.
Yep.
And Rand's Tavernness, even in infancy, warped him away from his original plan.
Mm-hmm.
Teach him the flame in the void so he has to channel, which is going to corrupt him with the dark.
And Gabe and Seth, to your point, we've seen that Rand cured Ingtar of his dark friendness, right? By forgiving him. So what if just being there at his birth, he was able to transform and
Taverna
clear
at
his shit?
birth.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, we think that he was Taveran in utero.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Was it's if there's nothing to say, dark friend, could you say Taveran? That's what I was gonna just say. Was Tam easily could have been Taveran because he left town and he was the exception to the rule in the town. So
nice.
Tam does put Rand on his paranoia, and particularly never, ever, ever trusting an Aes Sedai, including Moraine, right from the start in their conversation when he leaves. Like, basically, make sure you do not trust her or any Aes Sedai or people in general.
Parenting's hard. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And who's the only other person he can turn to? The man in his dreams telling him that he's being used. So Tam drives Rand right into Ishmael's arms.
But he gave him that sword though. The sword.
Did he give it to him, or did Rand pick it up?
Rand pretty much assumed it, and he's like, "Yeah, take it."
It was my father's sword, but Tam was injured. He was delirious. He didn't give him the sword.
And when Tam saw him
just
with
took it.
it, he
You
said
know what?
nothing.
Which begs the question: how many sword masters were just found the sword from their dad? Their dad died, and they're like, "Hey, I got a sword."
I mean, it's a pretty nice sword. It doesn't go rusty.
I think sword master thing is
So before we go further,
it's-
I thought Tam, when Rand told Tam that he had to leave, Tam told him to take the sword.
You're ruining my point.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I was getting at. Is he
He's
was
like-
already wearing
he's
it,
like,
and
"Damn."
it was a token gesture. Like, should I give this back? And Tam was like, "Don't bother.
You already stole it." Just
Yeah.
Well, I always found it really suspect that Tam never taught him any sword fighting, because I'm like, you know how the world is. You had a child on the slopes of Dragon Mount. You mean you didn't teach him anything beyond the flame in the void? Can you some simple stances how to hold the sucker?
Archery. He did make him a very dangerous archer.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. That's true. They're all very.
I think the other side of that though is,
that
I mean,
comes
if
up a lot in
he's been in
farming
a lot of
communities.
wars, I mean, he doesn't want to pick it back up. I mean, does he want to pass violence down to his kid?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but that's fair.
As is traditional for fathers and sons.
All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Yeah! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Wow! Guys, we got to come on.
Just stepping away from Tam as a dark friend, but he knew. Like, I could not teach Rand sword fighting because anybody in the Two Rivers learned how to fight with a sword.
No.
So that would make him stand out. And if he was trying to hide him,
Right.
he wouldn't want to do it.
But it's just a really good thing to bring up. Like these are assumptions or excuses I made for these characters along the way.
I'm sorry, Matt's father taught him how to use the quarterstaff.
Well, that I just was saying that like it seems as though everyone in
Matt's dad was
village
shady
needs to know how to use a
AF,
quarterstaff.
man.
Okay, no,
That dude traded horses. That's like mafia shit in the Two Rivers. It's like, yo, I'm in waste disposal.
in
I mean, if you're
in
gonna
the
be a
Two Rivers,
I know
shady-
horse flesh. What does that mean? How many horses are coming through that you're trading?
If you're
in
going
the
to be
Two
a
Rivers?
shady horse trader, you need to know how to swing a stick.
You need to know how to swing a stick. Yeah.
in the Two Rivers, they actually have competitions because so the archery and the quarter stuff. So this is taught to everybody. So it's not just selective for Matt or some few.
No, but only one or two cats knew the flame in the void.
I will not
Hashtag
argue with that.
Tim knew. All right. So, Gabe, do you what do we got
I
online?
got a what if. Mine all kind of lean silly, so apologies for that. But I always wonder because I love the idea of the elf and the Ilfin. So what if Gowan visited the foxes that grant wishes? What would be his wishes? What's he doing there? How'd he get there? What's the outcome?
Where is he at in his story?
Anywhere you would like.
Ew.
Okay. All right. Let us simmer. Let us simmer. I know you guys are reactionary folk. Let it simmer.
Now, this is wish fulfillment, or is it?
I mean, that's literally
It's
what-
Gowan.
Or is it truths?
Uh,
Are we Eelfin or Aelfin? What?
not answers things.
Thanks. Gotcha.
He would ask to be more handsome than Galad.
Which would result in a disfiguring injury to Galad.
Yeah, no, he would just be killed. They would just burn him up, and he's like, "You're handsomer than that pile of ash." Now.
Right.
In all fairness, he was raised to protect Andor at his sister's cradle. He would probably ask for "Give me the ultimate way to protect Andor," and it would probably turn on him.
So would Aludra show up then at his doorstep, right? Like she's like, "Hey, I'm here," and he's like,
The
"What do I do with
ultimate
you?"
weapon.
Yeah.
They would just kill him then.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I make a suggestion? That the time that he goes in there is just after he talked to the farmer peddler on the road, telling him Rand killed Morghese. So he goes to the Tower and Gedjai at this time. What will happen from now? What will his questions be?
You know all right, very good question. So he has vengeance on his mind. He hears that Rand has killed his mother and maybe his sister, and he goes to the tower. What does he ask for?
Does he literally ask for the same exact stuff Matt did?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
He asked for a way to be to take out Rand al'Thor, so they give him the medallion. He asks for a way to be good at battle, so they give him the memories, and he asks for a way home, so they give him the Ashendari.
He asks for all the women in his life to see that he is right and to listen to him. Yes, is what Gowan would ask.
You know what?
for.
That's the sad.
I don't
you
think
know
even
what?
the Aelfin can
This
grant
is
that
why
power.
I love Gowan,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
because
That's
Gowan.
what I think Gowan would
would
ask
say,
for.
I just want people to hear me.
Also, though, you don't get questions when you go through the tower. You have to bargain. You have to go through the door to get requests.
Oh yeah, what would he have to give
Yeah,
up?
what would Gowan give up? Morgan.
To get Rand, he would give up just about anything.
Elaine.
Keep in mind, this is a guy who, like, in the his crib, he was given a sword and has been like, "Don't let anyone fucking hurt your sister."
And he still turned
like,
out to be a
"Goo-goo."
selfish little shit.
Yes.
Hibernatic in the
Hey.
chat says,
I'm allowed to disagree with you, but I adore you.
Gowan is so misunderstood, guys. You have no idea.
I said
By
I feel that
himself.
he still turned out to be very selfish, even though I agree he was raised in a matriarchal society to support Andor and his sister.
Without Gawain, Rand would have been dead in the first book. What? When he fell in the garden?
Yeah.
Galad they would have been arrested, and he probably would have been dead.
All
He
right.
probably would have died in a cell.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Come on. It was Gawain. It was Gawain.
Maybe his.
I bet you there's some nudes. He's like, hey, I'll send you these nudes.
I have nudes of Galad that I will give you.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Nudes of Gawain are hot.
I can see him giving up his role as protector of the crown. So to get revenge on Rand, perhaps he loses his relationship with his family, and so he has to become a loner. I mean, he does, right? Yeah, willingly. So that's a. I mean, yeah. But like maybe they don't even remember him. You know, he's like completely forgotten about.
Well, I mean, I think just like Matt, he doesn't understand he's got a bargain. So
no,
Gawain just dies when he comes out of the thing because they hang him from a tree
yeah.
too.
He doesn't have anyone to cut him off the tree, basically. So,
All right,
yeah.
so let's piggyback off this. Let's do what if Gawain could channel, but not super strong.
Honestly, I think Galad's a better candidate.
All right, strike it from the record. Your Honor, what if Galad could channel just a little bit?
I mean, he is the brother of the Dragon Reborn, shares a mother, right? He certainly seems to have the skill with the Flame in the Void. There actually might be some indications in the book that he can sense channeling.
I mean, is he handsome or is it just Taviran?
Yes.
No, he's hot. He's hot.
He's hot. Yeah. Okay.
He may be a potential, like a learner. I think if he went to the White Tower, I'm convinced Galad would be able
So
to
you're
learn
saying
how
he
to
didn't have
channel.
the spark inborn, but he could have.
Yes.
Depending on the point in the books, if this is when the taint still exists, if Galad was aware he could channel, I think he would submit himself for gentling because that's like his thing.
He's so lawful good.
He's so lawful good.
I hate paladins in D&D.
Oh. Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I think it's the speaker.
Hello, I'm back, guys. Fuck yeah! Woo! Take that!
Okay. Anywho.
I have a favorite what if that I've floated a couple of times to friends. What if Shale Vannon was Demandred in disguise? So my evidence is there's only one other character who's talked about as walking lightly despite being heavy, and that's Kylie, who turns out to be Lanfear in disguise. Shale Vannon is described in the same way. Matt is the only main character who doesn't have a Forsaken by his side in disguise. All the rest of them do. Vannon, why is he such a good horse thief? Well, he can channel.
I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just think he's too vain.
Demandred talks.
Damn it, Seth. That's a good theory. That's a good theory.
Demandred talks about having an army in the south. What if that's the Band of the Red Hand?
And Matt loves the guy. Matt loves the guy. He's like, oh, geez, this guy's really fucking good.
Takes a little compulsion, and all of a sudden you're in love with him.
Wow.
Are we doing the Commodus?
It was supposed to be a funny what if, and then I kept finding more evidence
No,
for
I
it.
kind of really like that.
I really like it.
I really like it.
What if Oliver is actually Brigida's lost love and he just hasn't grown up yet?
I thought that the entire time I was reading those books.
He was born while Geidel Kane was still in the dream. We do see Geidel Kane over the shoulder, so there is, like, unfortunately, a counterexample. But
Well,
he's
yeah,
so ugly.
There's something about Oliver
Yeah.
that has not been.
Oh, we got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And we got the gentleman in the back too.
Yes, the black rod. Thank you for the black rod. Balefire. I know people have said on many occasions that Robert Jordan explicitly said Oliver is not Guidal Kane because, well, it doesn't. It doesn't. I will also say I am one of the few people in the fandom who likes Gawain but don't like Oliver. Now, saying this is why I'm in armor today. So I can actually say this out loud. So I would have loved to have a theory about what would happen if Oliver just, this is, yes. What if Oliver did not blow the horn, but Fail did?
Okay.
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 Let's let the gentleman in the
I
red
love
shirt
that
ask
one. I
his
just want to say
question.
that for the record.
Okay, I know that of the Oliver thing where Jordan explicitly said that he's not
Guidal Kane.
Guidal Kane, but I thought I remember hearing Brandon Sanderson stating that someone asked him if it's Grady's son,
Yes.
and it was not, or he wouldn't answer it. He wouldn't answer the question, so it was kind of like getting the correct answer or the answer by omission.
Well, keep in mind, I mean, we're not here about correctness. This is all.
Oh, I know. It's a what if,
Right.
but it's.
I
that
thought
right
it was
there
pretty
it was-
much
it was
confirmed
part of this.
that it was Grady's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
the Guidal Kane was Grady's son because he was born in the right time, right when he disappeared. It was
Exactly.
Well,
and he's described as super ugly.
Yeah.
As a
All right,
baby.
so as we're talking about these special people, this isn't necessarily a what if, but I guess no, it is. What? Who could have potentially? Because we know Taverin, it could be a momentary or temporary thing, right? It's not like you're born with blue eyes and you have blue eyes your whole life. You can just be Taverin when the pattern needs you. Who could have potentially been Taverin as the pattern needed it within the series?
Somebody else like to speak?
I don't see anyone.
So
okay.
sorry about that. This is definitely men because she was called Lady Taverin as a nickname.
Men?
Yes, in the
Okay.
books. So this is definitely a man. She changed the style of the court women where they started wearing breeches and short jackets just as she did. And yeah, men.
What do you think, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be.
Oh,
like,
hey, keep it down.
This is like a micro Taviran, right? Like you've got like a week or something. So Aludra feels right to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
That's such a good pick.
There's so many things that
Yeah.
just exceptionally and uniquely break her way in ways that have never happened in history. You know what she discovers and so forth, and it's all in the span of a month in the books
Mhm.
to go.
And I mean, what about
She's been planning
Talmanes?
for a
I,
What
I don't
about,
want to get into
Tammuz?
specifics, but what
Wait,
about
maybe it was
Talmanes?
Tammuz. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
He just burned down their damn house. I like Talmanes better for a lot of reasons. I don't want to get too deep, but like his actions toward the end, he basically wouldn't die. I mean, I think he's
Yeah.
a really good candidate for temporary Taviran.
What do you think, Seth?
I mean, I think he was dying slowly.
I know.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, do you have a Taverin?
Oh, someone who is Taverin temporarily.
Uh-huh. We'll come back to you. I think
Yeah,
someone
no.
does.
I mean, if I go back to New Spring, like Swan and Moraine, right? Like right place, right time. They happen to overhear the prophecy, but yet they're not Aes Sedai, so the Emerald Sea can lie about sending them away on the mission. And yeah, the world turns around the actions they take in that moment.
Where's the
That-
mic?
And that's kind of my big question is whether Rand pulled
Yeah.
Loyal out of the steading, Rand pulled
Everybody's
them,
Taverin by
or
proxy.
if it just was a conglomeration of things. Yeah. And guitar. Well, yeah.
Oh, I mean, Guitar Morosa, I think, I mean, man, she was just so, I think she was the pattern because she sent Rand away. She sent Land's cousin, Slayer, Luke. Yeah. Luke and Isam. She created that whole situation. I mean, when you look at the amount of manipulation she does to make Rand exist, you're like, dude, the pattern just like picked a favorite tool and went with it. Yeah. Guitar was Nakomi, yeah.
We get somebody who's been waiting.
So I was thinking potential. I was thinking potentially Varen, like the pattern putting her on the path to joining the Black Dodger and putting her in the right place at the right time to learn what she needs to learn.
Right.
And that makes so many questions. Whether dark friends, whether the pattern dictates someone is going to go to the dark to make that balance. Whether Varen had a choice. That's good. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that Swan Sanche is temporarily Taviran at the beginning of book 5, because if she had not gotten in trouble in the village in Course Springs, Gareth Bryn wouldn't have followed her to Saladar to build the army and become one of Egwene's biggest allies. So I think she was Taviran for like a day.
My only argument is I think she knew what she was doing with Gareth Bryn.
You think what?
I think she knew exactly what she was doing when she violated that oath and got all up in his face.
That he would follow.
That he would
her.
follow. I think she was teasing him. Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with you,
But it's a take.
I don't know.
It's what if.
What if? Yeah.
Oh wait, guys.
What if she knew
4,
what she was doing?
3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
My question is, what if Lanfear was a temporary Taviran?
Lanfear. Yeah. When?
Like just all the time that she's getting away with stuff when the others are asking what she's doing, and the Dark One knows what she's doing, and she's still getting away with it.
Wait.
Pretty
We don't-
privilege is not
She drilled the
Taviran.
board.
We don't think Forsaken are their own brand of Taviran.
But the pattern doesn't care if you're good, may not care if you're good or you're bad. It still sees where you need to go.
Right. I'm just saying, aren't we? I guess in my mind, I had kind of given the Forsaken a default borderline Taviran status. The power that they wield, the influence that they weave on how things come out.
I agree.
Oh wow! All right, so let's.
But Lanfear gets away with a lot of stuff.
Forsaken or Taviran, clap right now.
I got 4 people.
Clap if Taviran are not, or Forsaken are not Taviran. Clap if you don't like voting.
We got you anyway.
I did not gauge.
I'm really interested if Lanfear's Taviran in Age of Legends obviously Dark Friend stuff still applies, but the pattern's using her as Taviran would, and then she gets sealed in the boar. Is that a big oopsie and like a big disrupt on accident because she's now like a frozen Taviran that can't do anything?
Is her being sealed the oopsie, or is her drilling and going too far the oopsie? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking wild.
Maybe all 13 were Taviran when they went into the boar, and that's why those Forsaken, because like there were way more than 13 Forsaken at the time, right? So it was those 13 were the lucky ones who get to then influence the Third Age. Yeah.
All right, so
that's
I'm
Rand being Taviran all the way back 3,000. Well, I guess he was around as Louis Theron, so yeah.
So we have like 15 minutes, 12 minutes. I'm going to shift. What if Rand did not look like an IL?
That he looked like his mom?
Ponder. You too, Ponder. And you, Ponder.
Well,
you're
so are you saying he has a different heritage, or are you saying he just came out
I'm
looking
saying
a little different?
that Moraine and no one looking at him say, oh, he looks just like an IM.
So his parentage is the same. He's just doesn't
He
look.
does not. He's not identifiably different in the Two Rivers. He looks like any other Two Rivers man.
This is possible. There are women that are short
He-
for Aiel or have dark hair
Yep.
that
He
possible.
just looks like any other Two Rivers man. So let's just say there's no distinguishing. Like, oh, this.
I guess that depends on how much you think Moraine depended on his appearance to pick him out.
Yeah.
right? Because she picked out 3 of the boys.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she picked all 3
based on their birth, and his birth date wouldn't change.
His birthday would not change.
So I
correct.
mean, it might have been a little hard for us as the audience to be like, "Oh, the redheaded character is the main one," but like, I don't think it's necessarily would have changed.
Yeah, because one of the prophecies is old blood raised by or what is it? The
So I don't think it would
ancient blood
change.
raised by the old blood. If she knew that it was Niall, she would have just been looking for redheaded kids.
So I don't feel like it impacts Moiraine so much as his street cred, for better or for worse, going into the Threefold Land or
Right.
any other prophecies that touched on the Aiel side of things. So I think it would have been a harder sell going to the columns. I think it would have impacted those things more than it would have Moiraine.
Here's one. Loyal, I think, only hangs out with them because he's like, "Oh, you look Aiel.
You're an oddity.
You're an oddity. I should look into that."
I 100%
You look Aiel, so I think Loyal wouldn't be in the picture if he wasn't.
Well,
and
I
then
mean,
a little bit of a
Tavarin.
callback, the courtyard scene where he falls off
Yeah.
the wall. They're interested in spare him because he's novel.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question about old blood and ancient blood. Wouldn't everybody be from the Age of Legends? Where else would they be from? Where would a new blood be from? Yeah, so it's not watered out. So let's say if you have an Aiel mixed with somebody else. I mean, Rand is not a ancient blood because he's like Andor and Aiel with Tigraine and what's his father's name? Excuse my language.
Right, what's
Janduin, yes. So what is he? Is like a mixed blood? Are we talking muggles now?
I mean, you figure Tigraine is Demodred, which is old family line, but I also didn't give much credence to the old blood, ancient blood, other than for me the landscape, because I don't do the deep research, I don't study the deep magics like other folks do. For me, the way that I navigated those is that all of these compartments of society were broken off literally during the breaking of the world. And so the Manetherin was isolated and, the Aiel isolated intentionally. Yes, I agree with that. I never liked that was, I just thought it was a convention, honestly, to hype up Manetherin. It was a story plot. It was
I feel like when they say old blood, they mean traceable, right? Because we all obviously descended from the same ancient group of humans, right? We all have the same ancient blood, but when you say, "Oh, I can trace it back,"
yeah,
or you could just say
I'm
inbred.
primarily Irish, but I don't just start speaking Gaelic. So that Matt, and it's funny that Perrin becomes the Lord of the Two Rivers when Matt really has the heart of Manetherin and is speaking and is more and Egwin as well.
I had Canon Perrin's going to be up in Saldea most of the time, and Matt's going to, take over.
I think he's refurbishing Sean Chan. I think he's knocking the walls out. Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's flipping that beach house, you guys. I'm telling you.
So what else? What else do we got? We got just a couple
real
more
quick.
minutes.
Anybody else have one?
So back to the ancient Oldwood, I thought that was more kind of cultural thing because the Aiel culture had been around,
sure,
outlasted any wetland culture, and then
So are we saying that other
is still very much more Marathan than Andor?
So would the argument be, and I don't have my companion with me, like Tyr, Ilion, Andor, these are all countries that have roots that predate the breaking, right?
No.
They don't even predate.
They're like
Arthur
1,000
Hartwig.
years old at the most. Yeah.
Okay, so-
Andor
No,
might be
not
2,000.
even that far.
So
they
that
go back to Arthur Hawkwing,
right?
Because that's
Okay.
when those countries
Oh,
formed.
the consolidation. Okay, got
yeah.
you.
Because the
I swear I know
'cause
the
there was
book, you guys.
the
I swear
10
I read them.
Yeah,
Manetherin.
Yeah, was part of the Pact of 10 Nations.
Pact of 10 Nations.
That was smashed by the Trolloc War. They collapsed. New nations rose. Arthur Hawkwing.
So maybe that's it. Maybe it's
consolidated,
pockets
and
of
then they
culture
collapsed. Yeah.
with these particular nations.
Yeah.
That again were isolated because of the breaking, but they just happen to be nations that predate. but then that knocks out Damodred.
Right. That's not
Tyrant.
not very ancient. Well, the only yeah.
Do we want to do one for the show? Yeah. What if Nynaeve was more interested in Alana's water orgy than land?
Oh. She would not be 300 without Colorado to be red.
Does she become the first female warder in the show?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw how that went down. It looked like a good time.
Do you guys have any thoughts?
I don't think Nynaeve is warder material, if I'm being honest. I think her heart isn't healing, whatever that looks like. That's just my honest opinion.
I don't think being a warder is a prerequisite for Alana allowing you into her orgy.
But yes.
Actually, what I was gonna say was real quick is would that cause like a speaker reverb, like if a caster it becomes the same side of the like siding or sidar, it'd be like a speaker reverb.
That's a very good point. What if Brigitte could channel?
Yeah.
I mean, could that have worked?
It'd be just a horrible sound in the speaker.
Yeah, just feedbacking.
Well, I mean, we see that a little bit with Androl and Pavara. What happens if two channelers bond each other? However, the male-female thing tends to work together better than the female-female thing in Jordan's world. But
I saw that. I interpreted that synergy that they experienced towards the end of the series as attributable to the fact that they were both channelers.
Yes.
So she would wind up in Alana's
on
head?
opposite sides. So even though they were separated by Sidar and Sidene, they both saw synergy. They both saw improvements in their standalone abilities. And I think that that's what happens when you double bond two channelers.
that feedback gives you almost mind reading abilities.
Also, well, we of course, even without the two channelers, we see that feedback loop of emotion and experiencing sensations with Brigida and Elaine, but it never explores a same-sex couple who are bonded and also romantically involved. Like,
right? They never
would you just keep basically? Would you keep coming until you just died?
What if, guys? What if? Right? All right, we got 3 minutes left. Let me ask
This panel needs to run an experiment in the next 3 minutes.
Let me ask my favorite question. So we're in the early 90s and Perrin, Matt, and Rand want to form a band. Who plays what? All right.
We've got Perrin
Perrin's
on the drums.
Perrin's on the drums?
Totally.
Matt's on bass.
Matt's on bass. And Matt plays, or Rand plays keyboard?
Rand plays.
No guitar.
No guitar? No. Well, that's obviously Donald Flynn.
I mean, I see Rand as the emo singer who can't face the band like Jim Morrison. That's really what I see in my head. And totally Seattle grunge. Totally Seattle grunge.
And who is the best musician though? Rand? Rand on the keys? Okay.
Yeah. I wish I was as good as musician as blank. Yeah.
They're all. It's just garage. They're just a barn band.
They just get all the right
They're not
shows at all the
garages
right
yet.
places that like propels them into fandom.
More like like an indie folk group, because they're from the Two Rivers, so they start, there's some mandolin, I feel like Rand would do that, and people would be like, "Oh my god, the mandolin!" What?
Maybe a dulcimer.
Oh yeah,
Coming soon to a prom near you.
Matt keeps trying to break up the band, but getting sucked back in.
I just call the band.
Bella.
I just want to throw out that Tom would totally be the manager of the band for sure.
Colonel Parker, like to Elvis.
What are we talking about? He plays the flute. They're playing Jethro Tull.
Well done. Well done.
You can mic drop at that, Morgan.
Yeah.
It's totally okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, and that's it.
Thank you. You guys are great.
All right. So, Seth, Jessica, Gabe, thank you very much. Thank you guys for being there.